Happy Monday. It's the day after Easter. I think it's April 2nd. Yes, it's April 2nd, 2018. This is Bertie Lavorne and the Faith Leap podcast. So, had some more snow. I don't think it's ever going to stop snowing. But we had, I guess, about 5 inches this morning out of nowhere. And my girlfriend that lives down the street made a snow girl, put a big carrot for the nose. She has fun. She goes skiing all the time off of her deck. But yeah, just most random weather. It was beautiful. I thought I was going to be able to mow the grass Sunday when I was sitting outside, and I woke up to 5 inches of snow. So very, very strange for me. But today, I had read something on, I think, Instagram from Byron Katie. And Byron Katie she's in the hippy dippy movement, kind of a free thinker and thinks about things in a different way. But she had a saying that is just powerful to me, because I opened up my phone and I usually don't look at too many comments. But this came up and I was like, wow, this kind of goes along where my head's been, my headspace. And her quote is, "You are the one you have been waiting for." Now, that's it. Today I was sitting there talking to a friend, and I just said the words out loud. I think I cracked over this last year, because we were reminiscing that it had been a year basically since I moved, changed lives so dramatically. But that made me just say, just out of the blue, yeah, I think I cracked. And then I really started thinking about that more. And that's what happened. That was what happened. There was something. When I first got into this new life, it was pretty dark, and it was very unfamiliar. And everything that I had been accustomed to or had been familiar with, none of that existed except for, a couple of people and animals. Of course, my animals. Those were still the same. But everything else was different. Everything from being able to go into a gas station and pay at the pump. I suddenly had to start prepaying my gas. That was, so the financial thing was different, very different. And then the location was different. And the culture is different, very different. So it was like everything was different except for a couple of people and my animals. And what kind of started rolling down the mountain in this last year was when it first all went down, there was just so much confusion. I was like completely confused, disoriented, depressed, questioning myself, and, what in the world have I gotten myself into? What was I thinking? Kind of attitude. And as the months went on, and several challenges arose, it was like I was moving everything about me in this uncharted territory, in this direction, to where I would not be the same person at all that I was a year ago. It was, I don't know, I think I was really depressed until around 6 months in. And then at the 6 month mark, I would see glimmers of things, that were exciting. I started feeling sorry for myself because I thought to myself, I can never get excited about anything ever again. And that was kind of a bummer to think about. Um, people wanderlust, especially us wanderers. We wanderlust about different lands. But that had to come to a stop because that would have just been, torturing myself. So all of my daydreaming visions of, wandering around the world or the country or wherever, those all had to come to an end. Life had to start living minute by minute. Maybe you could go hour by hour, and some days you could go day by day. But really, in order to stay grounded, or the word that came to my mind was lucid. In order to stay that, it was really just healthy to stay moment by moment because, you just didn't know what the next minute was going to bring. So I was reading that Byron Katie quote and I thought to myself, the whole year journey, yeah, it cracked me. Yes, I became a different person, but I figured out who I was and that I'm the one that I've been waiting to really meet. My 51 years, 50 years of walking around the planet, and I never really knew myself. So, yeah, that kind of happens. Um, and then there's this that goes on, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I'm going to read it out. We have been conditioned to spend our lives searching for relationships and possessions to feel complete. Yet Osho reminds us that feeling happy and whole cannot be found in the external, but rather from a profound sense of knowing our truest strengths, our faults, and our yearnings from within. And it goes on to say, this week, see if you can ditch the distractions and step out of your fantasy and grab hold of life now. Say whatever it is you need to say or do whatever it is you need to do so that you are pleasing the person that matters most of all, and that is you. I think we're kind of scared into thinking about ourselves sometimes because then we have this dogma of being a selfish person. And I think I have been a selfish person to some extent, but I'm really glad I was a selfish person because sitting, sitting and taking the time for myself, that that's where I got to this level of this serenity. I think I don't know. I don't think the word selfish is, I think it's a negative word. And the day that we realize that we're the ones who come first, we personally are the ones that should come first, that's the day you start truly loving yourself. And when you love yourself and you're true to yourself, and you can blaze through all of the reconciliations for all of the faults that you feel you have, yeah, that's groovy. So, yeah, that's my thoughts for the day. Anyway, it's Bertie Lavorne, the Faith Leap podcast. I'll be back next week. Adios.